Hello. Okay, and there you go. Now the microphone is set up. This video will be about the King Burwell Supreme Anarchist decision. And I made a video the first week after that atrocity, that piece of anarchy came out, and I decided not to post. I needed to calm myself down because that is the worst Supreme Court decision I think I've ever heard of. The worst. And let's start out by talking about what reasons I get so emotional about it. One reason is because a lot of news reporters were not reporting the truth about it. The night that that ruling was issued, two times, two different people on the radio gave wrong descriptions of the rulings. And when I was last week double checking the name of the case, FoxNews.com had a inaccurate headline. It has been summarized by inaccurate journalists and talk show hosts as supporting Obamacare or being a ruling in favor of Obamacare. No, it actually is not that. It was a ruling against Obamacare. But Obama was the plaintiff, or one of his secretaries. No, actually, well, that's true, but they weren't a plaintiff because they were following the law, and somebody went to court and said the law is unconstitutional. The law very clearly defined who gets subsidies. And the architect of the law, or one of them, Jonathan Gruber, said the reason they designed the law that way was so the people would encourage their state legislatures to set up a state exchange. Not so everyone would get covered, as Chief Anarchist John Roberts said. We get the timer so we don't have beeping in the background. And the plaintiff on the case was trying to get the courts to tell Obama to obey the law instead of do the opposite of the law. So when Obama was disobeying the law, and somebody's trying to get the court to tell him to obey it, that's not ruling in favor of that's not supporting the law when the court doesn't tell the president to obey the law. One other thing that gets me really emotional, I think, about this, and one reason why the Supreme Court, I call them the Supreme Anarchists sometimes, they already ruled that this law was constitutional. If they hadn't already ruled that Obamacare, I refuse to call it by its official name because its official name is a lie. It does not make healthcare affordable, and it doesn't have affordable Care Act. Yeah, it doesn't make it affordable. My train of thought was just broken. I think my dog burped. Maybe the birds made a sound. Let's see. So I was talking about how the Supreme Court already ruled on it being constitutional. They're anarchists. Yeah, because anarchy is a condition where you don't have laws. You don't know what's legal, what's illegal, what can happen to you. And by the Supreme Court telling the president he doesn't have to obey the law, he can do whatever he wants, we don't know what is going to happen. We can't have expectations about anything. That's the definition of anarchy, is when you don't know what the law is or what's going to happen, or at least what's going to happen legally. You're not living in anarchy if you don't know if it's going to rain tomorrow or not, but you do know that you're not going to get a check from the government because the law says you're not going to, and the president's obeying the law. The Supreme Court should be fired for saying that the president doesn't have to obey a law that they already declared constitutional. And maybe I said more than just fired in the first video. They decided I better not air. They should be fired. That is ridiculous. That is evil. That is anarchy. That is... that's ridiculous. They can't... The Supreme Court, it's immoral for them to try to change the language. Words have meaning. It's important for words to have meaning so we know what the law is and what to expect. If the speed limit says 55, but I could get pulled over by the police officer for driving 55 because he feels like the word limit that day means exclusion, then we have anarchy. Then the language, there's no reason to have language anymore. Well, thank you for watching this video, and have as good of a day as you can when you are living in an anarchy.